Cloudwater, they're one of the best breweries in the UK, but are they still as good as they always used to be? That's the question. Have they been harmed a little bit by the collaboration they did in Tesco? Well, we've got 3 different Cloudwater beers this month, and today's beer number 1. This is an IPA called Something Within, bright and juicy. Let's see what it's like. Keep on watching to find out if it's any good. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing a beer from Cloudwater, seen as one of the best breweries in the United Kingdom, if not the world. I don't know, that may be going too far, but they're certainly up there with some of the best, and they've got a reputation of some of the best. I think, as I said in the intro, that they've been a little bit harmed by the fact that they had some very sort of average beers. They weren't bad, but they were very average beers that were in Tesco in the last sort of few months. But this is the ones that I've had directly from them have always been pretty good. And this is called Somewhere Within. It's bright and juicy IPA, 6%, soft yet vibrant, featuring a blend of our favourite US and New Zealand hops. This month we seem to have quite a lot of beers with New Zealand hops in it, which isn't a bad thing, because I think I really am a big fan of the New Zealand hops. I'm not sure exactly what New Zealand hops is. I'm going to have a quick look to see if it says. I mean, on the back it just says our favourite US, so it's maybe a blend. Not quite sure what hops it is. It's quite strange. Usually Cloudwater, they do actually say what hops are in it, but we don't know on this one. So let's crack this beer open. It's a really sort of pretty looking can with some flowers and that. I think it looks quite bright, and you'd automatically would jump off the shelves to see this one. But let's crack it open and see what it's all about. See if it's up there with Cloudwater's normal excellent quality. Said New Zealand and American, so I was expecting maybe your El Dorado, your Nelson Sauvin. We'll see if the Nelson Sauvin's in here. And beer in a glass. Well, I mean, it's a lot more orangey than I really expected. But I'm getting already big, punchy, fruity aromas. It's a nice orange, hazy, 2 fingers, compacted just off Whitehead. Looks pretty good. Not your, I mean, I don't know, would I say it's a New England, but it's got a lot more of a darker, richer orange colour than a lot of sort of New England style of IPAs. But let's see what it smells like. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of tangerine. And then that little bit of that sort of very fresh sort of fruits of like the gooseberry, the melon, that sort of thing. Yeah, it smells very, you know, it says, did it say on it vibrant? That's a great word to describe how this smells. Very vibrant, very zesty, but it's led with a much stronger sort of orange, sort of sweet tangerine type of orange. Smells pretty good. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, big flavour of orange and passion fruit. But it's got a little element of sweetness on there. So sometimes when you get those flavours, it can converge towards the sort of the rind of the orange. It can be a little bit bitter, but there's no bitterness with this. It has got that sort of kiwi, gooseberry, melon even. A little bit of white grape as well. So you know that there's that sort of New Zealand style, because they're the flavours that you get with that. But there's also a lot of, I would think it's probably got El Dorado in it. It's a big, you know, big US sort of hop that has sort of tropical, your passion fruits. There's something else in there as well. I think it's passion fruit's the big sort of, a nice juicy orangey passion fruit, probably mango as well. And there's a little bit of sharp, I say drier bitterness on the back end. A little bit of sort of resin, a little bit of pine needles, a little bit of sort of grapefruit. And then you're probably getting a little bit of that sort of orange rind as well. It's a lovely balanced beer, this one. And although I mean, the mouth feels quite soft. It's very much on that sort of soft East Coast sort of style, but it's got some really zippy, juicy fruits of a flavour. It's pretty damn good actually, and it's up there with some of the best Cloudwater. I wish I knew which sort of hops it had in it, because it just seems weird. You know, I've got other Cloudwaters and they've got the hops on it quite clearly marked, but this one it doesn't. So whether it's a sort of a blend that they've come up with their own blend of those sort of hops and they put them in, so they don't know the sort of how much is in and there's lots of different ones in there. I don't know, but it certainly creates a very good beer. Looks good, smells good, and most importantly, it tastes really good. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting down this really quickly. There is a little bit more of that sort of pininess on this beer than a lot of sort of New England, but I think you're always going to get that when you've got those passion fruit and orange sort of flavors in there. So somewhere within, bright and juicy IPA, pretty good description. It's pretty damn good. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Something Within IPA from Cloudwater. Lovely, pretty sort of art can there. I think they do a lot of sort of very sort of flowers, of flora and fauna, I think, on a lot of their can artwork. We don't know exactly what hops, but it's US and New Zealand hops. And I don't know if I mentioned it, it's 6%, so it's a 6%. Pretty solid IPA in terms of the ABV, certainly. But we'll go through the scores. Firstly, it was aroma. Well, you got a big, pungent, a real sort of juicy fruits. I wouldn't say overly tropical, but just a nice sort of a mixture of sort of big citrus fruits. Orange being the big sort of, a real sweet orangey sort of aroma. Passion fruit, they're the big sort of aromas you're getting. Then you're also getting those sort of, the New Zealand hops are starting to come for the fore, where you're getting those sort of gooseberry and melon and a little bit of grape, those sort of aromas as well. But it's much more of an orange, a sweet tangerine type of orange as the sort of lead aroma. It's pretty pleasant and it's quite inviting. That's what you want from a beer. Want it to, so you smell it and you think, just want to drink it now and see if it tastes as good as it smells. So aroma, I'm giving it 14. Appearance wise, well, we've got the head's pretty well retained. You've got a nice lace in the glass. It's a nice bright orange colour. Looks pretty good. Nothing overly extraordinary. It's just a very good solid IPA. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Flavour wise, well, the flavour is similar to the aroma. So you're getting hits of orange and passion fruit, but where sometimes you can get a little bit too much bitterness in those sort of flavours, the bitterness is kept in check, and it's got a very sort of a lightness, a vibrance, and I use that word because it says on the can, it says vibrance, but I think it's a great way. When you taste it, you get this vibrant, juicy flavour. There's nothing sort of dank or overly chewy. It doesn't taste too strong or too overly dry, overly bitter, none of that at all. You're getting a lot of that orange and passion fruit, and it's very soft, and it tastes pretty good. Then you're also getting those little pockets from the New Zealand hops, the sort of very light green type of fruits, your melons, your gooseberries, and your grapes as well. But I would say that they're less dominant than a lot of New Zealand style IPAs, but they're definitely in there just to sort of give it a much more, a sort of better balance and complexity. Then you get little hits on the back end. It sort of goes into a sort of resinous, piney sort of back end, little bits of grapefruit in there as well. As you would expect from an IPA, it's probably a little bit more, there's a little bit more of that piney. And then you're probably getting that little bit of bitterness that's more like the orange rind bitterness. But it's a nice balance, and it's a nice journey that you go on. It then makes you want to drink it again, and you go through that journey again. So I think it's pretty solid. 34, I'm giving it for flavour. Value for money, this was just over a £5, not the cheapest for a 440. There's cheaper and there's more expensive, but it's a quality beer. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10 for value. And then my overall experience, it's a very good IPA. I think when I saw New Zealand American hops, I expected something more dominant in terms of the New Zealand style, but I don't think it's as dominant New Zealand style as a lot of them are. I don't know if it's got Nelson Sauvignon, but you're not getting huge white grape. You're getting a little bit of hints of it, but it's not huge. It's all about the orange and passion fruit and the softness and the bitterness coming in sort of right near the end sort of thing. So it's It's an easy drinking, soft beer. It's pretty good. I'm giving it 13 for overall. So we top those scores up, we get 77 out of 100. It's a recommended beer. It's a high-end White Snake beer. It's a pretty good one to drink down, slow and easy. So that's my review for this beer. Something Within from Cloudwater. First of the Cloudwater, we've got 3 Cloudwaters. I'd be interested to see how this compares with the others. It's a pretty good one though. So I hope you enjoyed that review. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, because we release loads of videos every week. I wouldn't like to say how many, but we do lots of different videos. We've got rock, we've got music of different types. We've got some new ideas for that coming for the rest of the year. And of course, we've got plenty of really good quality beer. So that's it for today. And until the next one, keep on rocking.